So, Neil, we use a lot of terms like um, do you, chase the bag, you know what I mean? The game is to be sold, not to be told. A lot of cool phrases that we have in music and hip hop. Do
Yeah,
you think that, one, how do we recalibrate ourselves as a people, as a community, or can we, at this point, get enough of us to change our mindset where we can bring the energy you're speaking to into our community?
I think we can. I think that people are attempting to do so right now. I think that what we're seeing with the boycott, the emergent call for boycotts and for consumption fasting and things of that nature, I think people are interested in solutions. I think what's missing, this conversation for me, Ose, is helping those people and us collectively to understand that merely calling for boycotts and fast as a mean and protest for change is insufficient because it's unstable. Even if we get the entire population of Black America to engage in these boycott movements and to demonstrate our economic power and impact in the world or in the US, and by so doing, cause these institutions, these banks, and these other entities to change their policy in a way that benefits us, all of that will still be just temporary, right? Ultimately, what I'm suggesting is that the real power that we should always be pursuing and the real bag that we should always be pursuing is the bag that the group controls. It's the power that the group controls. So that whatever happens to you individually will only be will be minimal in its impact on everybody else. We look at, for example, what happened with recently with Joy Reid, a talented and brilliant sister in what she was doing, and no doubt adding value to the community and to journalism. But the higher ups decided that her show needed to go. We saw the same thing happen to Don Lemon a few years ago. Now, we don't have to agree with what they're all saying in their shows. The fact that they and other shows like theirs can be canceled relatively easily without much fallout says that the pursuit of the individual bag is extremely fragile. It's an extremely fragile bag. It's a bag that's not sustainable. And that other people engage in pursuit of the bag, but they do it in a way that is way more stable and way more effective for their people because before they go get the individual bag, they get the group bag. And the group bag can sustain the individual bag, even if the individual bag is being acquired at a non-in-group entity. So yeah, you could go work for MSNBC, CNN, and all these other places. You should get get the best jobs and places you can get them, but you should only pursue them in mind of the collective interest. You should only pursue them if it doesn't come at a cost to the collective interest. And so, what I'm suggesting is the same thing that Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, and others have suggested before, Malcolm X and others, is that let's build up our social, political power and capital in America, in the world, and then you can go and do anything you want to do because you have the backing in your community to back you up. If our people own the majority of the stocks and shares at MSNBC or CNN or Walmart or Target, if we own the majority of the shares, or not even majority, but a significant portion of the shares, where our vote could matter, I promise you that the DEI reversal would not happen the way it happened, right? And so often our folks talk about the fact that Jewish folks or Asian folks or other community, they're also doing individual things and pursuing their individual interests, but you're not like them. Or to quote the MC out of Compton, they're not like us, meaning that our situation in the world is different, and our difference requires that we take a different approach, right? We have to have the courage to see ourselves as being distinct in the world and have the moral fortitude to accept that, to be okay with that. But then it also means that we don't try to do what other people do the way they do it because we're different. One of my favorite scholars, Dr. Amos Wilson, says that black people are always talking about equality, equality in education, equality in access, equality in any number of domains. And they don't realize that equality with white people in America and the world, or with East Asians, or with the Jewish community, or any community for that matter, from a black perspective, is a radical revolutionary statement. When you say that you want to be equal, you're going to have to do things that you are uncomfortable thinking about, much less to do. It means that you may have to educate your children differently. It means that your children may have to go to school in a mainstream environment and then come back home and have school again to supplement and complement what they're being taught in the classroom, because you are different. Your condition is different. Your context is different. And therefore, when you attend the world, you won't get the same results. So if you're in the classroom reading the same books, getting the same grades, and getting the same outcomes academically on paper, the world will interpret that as being different. And moreover, the purpose of education is for people to be trained to help solve their problems. And so a standard education in America is designed to solve mainstream problems. But your problems are in addition to the mainstream problems. Yes, you also have the same problems America has, but you have some extra problems. And those extra problems require an extra level and context of training and education for your kids.